Welcome back. Election day is only about a month away, and candidates are running short on time to make their case to the public. Jim, has any candidate done anything in particular recently to sway your vote?
No, they haven't. And I don't know what percentage of the population is still in a position where they haven't made up their minds. I can tell you I've made up my mind, and I know where I'm going, at least certainly on the national races and in large part on the local races. Now, honestly, I could be swayed on some of the local races potentially, just because I don't have the base of knowledge that I feel that I'm ready to make a decision on that. There's an economic principle called rational ignorance. And that's the point at which you never have perfect information, but you have enough information that you're comfortable making a decision. I'm not there yet on the local candidates. I'm definitely there on the national candidates.
We do have some candidate forums coming up. Tom, you care to hit on that?
Well, I'm not as familiar with those particular forums at the moment. You know, I'm actually organizing some events, so.
Are you really?
Okay.
Yes, but they're more partisan, obviously, because of my job, who I am and what I do. So, you know, I'm more interested, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at different levels. You know, there's some polls that came out recently, and it looks like Hillary Clinton, Chris Van Hollen, and, you know, our own Congressman John Delaney are going to have a cakewalk, you know, into their respective back in offices or whatever. As far as the polling goes, it makes me a little nervous because they're so far ahead that, you know, the usual problem with us Democrats is we sit at home and don't show up. That's always the issue. But in terms of the national election, you know, I totally agree with Jim that most people made their minds up, and there isn't much wiggle room left. You know, and I just don't see how Trump gets from here to there at this point, because so many things keep happening that they're simply not going to go away. You can't talk about veterans, you know, with PTSD.
Oh, come on.
That is
seriously?
very-
that is
My
crap.
friend,
That is beyond
Pieces
crap.
out.
No,
That
it
is
isn't.
so.
No,
Oh
it
my
is
God.
not. No, it is not.
You gotta go back and re-listen to that.
No,
That is
I saw
absolute
that.
garbage.
I saw that, and I saw people. I know one guy, a good friend of mine, a Vietnam veteran, on the battlefields. You talk to him.
Even the person who
I
posed
talk
the,
to
even the
people-
person who posed the question didn't find any offense.
Oh
to it.
my.
Well, I think it reveals.
Did you hear that one, Danielle?
I didn't. But you guys are really
Well,
making
there's
me
that
want
one,
to.
but, I mean, he's got the tax problems, the
tax
Miss
problems?
Universe problems. They just keep adding up. I mean,
The
like somebody
media is
said.
making that a problem.
Well,
It
what
is a
he
problem.
has is a media problem because he's fighting not just a candidate, but he's fighting the media. Danielle, would you
He's
like
not
to
just
chime in?
fighting the media, he owns the media.
I mean, here's where
It's their show.
I try to draw the line for either candidate is things that happened so far in the past. I just don't care
People
anymore.
change, don't they? Are you
Pe-
the same person
well,
you were
Donald Trump
10
is.
years ago?
No,
Neither am
and
I.
thank goodness. And here's the one thing that I am happy about this being, you know, the most important election that they're saying right now, or you know, people that can't decide one or the other. This is a race that isn't about the person, and I'm glad that it's forcing America to also look at the issues.
So,
It's about the person.
So
That's
I
the
would tell you-
unfortunate part.
but-
It's
but-
really the unfortunate part.
no,
But if you
it's
did-
about it
let's
right
say-
now, but it won't be.
It will be. The main issue in politics has nothing to do with Donald Trump or Hillary exactly. It's money.
Right. And
That's the whole issue. These are sideshows, I agree. Some of it's a sideshow, but that's what they're playing on. Trump keeps saying, look here, don't look there. He has no policies. What are they?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really care. But let me tell you something.
You don't really care.
Let me
That's
tell
my
you something.
point.
Let me tell
I'm
you
trying to
something.
Talk to what you just said.
Hillary and the Democrats, and quite frankly, for that matter, the traditional Republicans, we've given them the ball and told them to run with it, and they have gone nowhere.
They've
the
been
ones-
And
retreading
that
the
is
whole
why
tire for the last 40
Trump,
years.
I guarantee you, I will bet you any amount of money right now, Trump will win the presidency.
No, he's
period.
The problem is that
He is
Hillary
no
Clinton's campaign
I
is a
guarantee
retread
it.
of a bald tire over the last 40 years of Democratic policy.
No.
They failed the inner cities, they are failing the country, and the country's going to look for a change. But let's talk
And they
about
want a
something-
change that's
No,
not a
no,
part of
it's not
either
true.
party. And even though
Exactly.
Trump is a registered Republican, he's not the Republicans that I grew up with.
No, he's nobody's. He gives money to both sides.
He is-
he's
the
a
money
businessman.
problem.
He gives money to both sides.
is the
So
problem
he-
that
he is
politics
a
he
admitted
works
that.
across the aisle.
He has admitted that
He
during the
doesn't
debate.
work at all. Come on, he doesn't even
Okay,
want
but
the job
let's
as
talk about something
president
that really
again.
impacts us on a day-to-day basis.
really doesn't want
Let's
that
talk
job,
about
I
our
think.
local races. Okay, we have some excitement going on in the city of
We're having a
Hagerstown with-
good argument here. You want to switch the subject?
I'm going to change the gears
Okay.
here because something that impacts us on a day-to-day in our daily lives is what's going to happen in the city of Hagerstown, what's going to happen with our local Board of Education, and then, of course, you mentioned congressman and senator. So let's start with our mayors.
So let's
There's some interesting things on the internet by Bob on Facebook.
Yeah, so before we get into that, you had mentioned earlier the candidate forums. The chamber will be hosting forums. They hosted the mayoral forum this week. We're going to talk about that next week. We'll actually have footage from the forum to
Okay.
share. Antietam Cable, by the way, is broadcasting those forums in their entirety Saturday and Sunday night following the forum. So this Saturday and Sunday, 5 to 6 p.m., Antietam Cable will broadcast it on this channel. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I know Herald Mail is doing forums, that two of which I believe will be broadcast live by Antietam Cable. So I'm glad our media is stepping up locally and covering some of these events.
I'm really glad as well to have that opportunity to not only hear their responses, but to see and visualize what they will look like as leaders for the city.
I will tell you, I
appreciate
will
that.
give you one preview of something that I'm going to talk about a little bit next week on the mayoral side that really kind of upset me. Today, I realized today that at the forum this week for the mayoral candidates, you know how many city council members and city council candidates were there?
That actually showed up.
Yeah.
Where there was 5, I believe.
One.
Oh, okay. I was
Emily
the one
Keller,
from last-
who used to be on the
last
show,
week.
was the only city council candidate that showed up at that forum this week.
Well, I guess the other ones kind of know the parties involved. They've both been mayor. The two mayoral candidates are well known at this point.
That's really
And the
surprising.
mayor office is not exactly like the mayor office in other
No, it's not.
municipalities.
It is not.
But, okay, so we touched a little bit about the mayors, city council, Board of Ed. There's a lot of things flying around on the internet regarding
Well,
one
front page
person
of
or
the
another
Hagerstown
person.
newspaper.
We had editorial in the newspaper.
Yeah.
So any feelings on what's going on with the Board of Ed?
Well, I just hope that it keeps going in the direction of Donna Brightman and the rest of them that seem to have some sense. And it's not just personal fighting. I was at a couple of those meetings. Oh my, come on. I mean, this is like child stuff that no, and it's ridiculous.
Tom,
It's
on
about a kid.
that, we're going to let you have the last word, and I agree with you regarding Donna Brightman. I think she's an excellent asset.
She is.
Okay, up next, we're going to go with the Fast Five, so stay tuned.